The US is preparing to announce a slew of sanctions against Russia later this week. That's over the death of Vladimir Putin's most fierce critics, Alexei Navalny. American officials haven't detailed what form these sanctions will take, but there's one man who's leading the charge for specific action to be taken here. Bill Browder is a financier, a political activist, and he's been targeted by the Kremlin since he was deported from Russia nearly 2 decades ago. He's previously campaigned quite successfully for sanctions against Russian human rights abuses, calling on Western countries to introduce the Magnitsky Act. We have it here now in Australia. And the Magnitsky Act was named after his former lawyer died suspiciously in a Russian prison. Now he wants a Navalny Act to, quote, hit Putin where it hurts. And Bill Browder joins me live now from London. Bill, thanks so much for your time. Why would this Navalny Act be so effective if done right?
Well, so what I'm thinking about is that when the war started, after the war started, about a week afterwards, Western allies froze $300 billion of Russian central bank reserves. That's been held by the Federal Reserve of the United States, the Bank of England, the European Central Bank, and various other banks. This is Russian government money. Since then, Russia has done about $1 trillion of damage to Ukraine. And so the idea that I have, and I think we need to come up with something that would really hit Putin hard for this assassination, is not just to freeze that money, but to confiscate that money, to give that money to Ukraine for their defense and reconstruction, and to call it the Navalny Act. So Putin understands that his murder of Alexei Navalny cost him $300 billion. That would hit him right between the eyes. That would hit him where it hurts, and that would help Ukraine fight off the Russian military invasion.
Have any of the financial sanctions worked to date, do you think, or it's just not really been touching the sides?
I think the financial sanctions have been quite extraordinary. If you look at what's been done, in addition to these frozen funds, there's been a lot of, all the oligarchs' funds are frozen. The banks in Russia have no access to capital markets. There's technology bans. The planes are making emergency landings because they don't have parts. 1,000 companies have pulled out of Russia. It's a mess over there. The only problem is one thing that hasn't been banned or been sanctioned is Russia's sale of oil to places like India and China and South Africa. And they're making a few $100 billion a year selling oil, and that money is being used to buy artillery and weapons and drones and used to pay for soldiers. And so they're running a wartime economy, huge wartime economy, off the back of their oil sales. And until we stop their oil sales, they'll be able to carry on indefinitely.